So, good evening to everyone. Once again, it's good to be together with you guys for another session of training. Today is purely we've been doing a lot of talking about business plan. Today we will be working together through one sample business plan. So I would like your full participation and cooperation in working this through. Um, Preparing a business plan is a tedious, bone breaking task, but very beneficial. We've talked about all the benefits and the likes. So, if you were to prepare a business plan for your personal business or for another company or business, it is good that we have the basic knowledge. What we are going to go through this evening is the basics. We hope that progressively, as you continue to practice your hands on business plan, you'll get more and more experience in doing so. Preparing a business plan is like learning how to drive. No driving school will teach you everything you need to know about driving. The only thing they can do for you is teach you the basics. So I do not expect, and I don't expect you to expect that I will teach you everything about business plan within a couple of few hours. So, but I hope that at the end of the session, I'm able to pass across to you the basic you should know about a business plan. So, if you see your screen, there is an editable copy of a business plan. If you go online, you'll see hundreds and thousands of samples of business plan. The sample or the structure of your business plan can vary. There is no one universally acceptable structure of a business plan. However, there are some basic information that must be on your business plan. Why nobody expect that your business plan must follow a defined structure? There are informations that must be captured in your business plan. So we are going to see all of them through with the sample business plan that we have. I don't know if a copy of this business plan was shared with you guys before now by the facilitator. Um, Otherwise, by the end of the section, every one of you is going to get okay. Okay, I'm seeing a thumbs up. So that means that we all have a copy of this sample business plan. Am I correct?
No, sir. Not all.
Not all. Okay. I was hoping that we would all have gotten access to it, and because whether we like it or not, I'm well informed that um, the copy was shared. I don't know whether you didn't receive it or
We all have it though. I don't know. Maybe the person did not check her DM.
uh-huh. Some persons are confirming that they have it. So I told the facilitator, I gave it ahead of time so that all of us can try our hands on it. So that when we meet together today, we would, in fact, I would gather information from all of you in filling up the sample business plan that I have here. So um, it, it's simple. Preparing a business plan, it's simple, but then it requires a lot of research and field work. A lot of research and field work. When I say research, I mean both theoretical research and field research. You are expected to generate information. You are expected to generate information that would enable you prepare a robust, rich um, business plan, especially if you are preparing the business plan with the purpose of assessing or applying for a loan facility. Then you'll be expected to do a lot of research to get your figures and facts right. So we have a sample here. So we are going to take a name for a business. We're going to take a name for the business. So who gives us a name for our proposed sample business? Let's take, for example, um, you are a registered company. You are a registered company, registered to produce um, processed water. Let's say a water company, a water manufacturing or water production company. When I mean water production company, it could, sachet, bottle, dispenser, a water factory. So let's take a name, Level Waters. Level Waters. Uh, we are preparing a business plan for a water production company, a water production company called Level Waters. Uh, as prepared by the name of a company, Level Nigeria Limited. On today, the 11th of March, 2026. So we have our name water, we have um, the name of our company. So, like I said before, take note. I mentioned that there is no one universally defined structure that a business plan must take. However, there are very key contents. There are key elements that must be present in your business plan. Um, some of which is captured in this content, the table of contents. What you have here is a summary of key elements that should be or must be present in a standard business plan. You could go beyond what is here. You could go way beyond what is here. There are some business plans that are way more complex. If you are preparing a business plan for a government proposal, is different from preparing a business plan to get a government contract. It's different from a business plan to get a loan from the bank. It's different from a business plan to get a sponsorship from possibly an NGO. So the reason for the business plan will determine the structure that the business plan will take. However, what you find on the screen is the basic that should be present in a standard business plan. So you could go beyond this, but it's not advisable to go less than this to prepare a very rich business plan. So one constant element is the executive summary. In some other business plan, you could call it an introduction, executive summary, or an introduction, and it gives you an overview of what the whole business idea is all about. The idea, the gap you want to fill, because, like we said, every business is aimed at being a solution to an identified problem. So you want to start a business, it is expected that you have identified a problem in the system and you are setting up the business to provide a product or a service to fill that gap or to serve as a solution to an identified problem. So you're in your executive summary or your introduction, you give a background of the system, the problem that exists within the system, which solicits or necessitates the creation or formation of this identified business, and the proposed solution that the business is offering to fill that gap or to solve the problem that have been identified. So that is just a summary of what the is found in the executive summary. Then you give an additional detail of how you intend to present this solution to the target market that will benefit from the product or service. So in a simple summary, usually an executive summary should not take more than 2 pages. A standard executive summary or introduction should be a page, but if you go too far, 2 pages is okay. But a standard executive summary should be between 1 and 2 pages. But then it gives a summarized view of everything that the business is all about. Then you also need to you have a section for your company description, that is your product, your service, um, your objective. So under this section, you have the company's vision, the goals, your specific objectives, then the SWOT analysis can also be found there, or you can put the SWOT analysis under your market analysis. So whichever the case, it's fine. But then you can have another section. So basically, you have 4 sections, 4 to 5 sections in a standard business plan. Basically, 4 to 5 sections. What you have here is 8, or you can easily collapse some into others. Your operations, your operations section can be under your company description. Your financial projection and assumptions for the funding, that is an entirely one section on its own. Anything financials, source of funding, how you intend to generate the funds, whether through personal savings, whether through cooperative, whether through loan, whether through government funding, whether through grants. It's important that you explain carefully how you're going to generate your funds and pay back. So what you have here is an 8 session content, but you could always collapse it into 4 or 5. But as the case may be, it can even be more. So we have our executive summary. Important questions or areas to be captured in your executive summary. Like we said, it's meant to capture everything, but in its simplest form. Your executive summary is expected to capture everything, but in its summary after the business plan has been prepared. Because the executive summary is a summary of all that you have done in the business plan. So you can get an executive summary when you have not finished the work. So that's why you see there that ideally, as it is expressed in the sample, the section is written after the rest of the business plan is done. So you come back here and summarize all that you have done. So that being said, this section is meant to be the last section that you would write after you would have finished all that is done. So we'll come back here at the end of the day. So the company's description. So here we said we are into the production of table water. So we system. That means we'll be going into the production of sachet water, table water, and possibly even the dispenser water. So here you are expected to describe um, the business. What is the business all about? So let's say we have so like we said, the company is a water company, Level Waters. So Level Waters, for example, let me just read out because I have prepared one for myself. If I were to want to type, it will take us a longer time. But I have one prepared already. I would want to share with you so that we don't spend a lot of our time, because there are many other sections that we are going to brainstorm and work through together, so that we work within the allotted time that we have. So we have Level Waters. It's a commercial. You could say Level Waters is a commercial production uh, business um, that is involved or is registered with the government to produce uh, clean, pure water for the consumption of the Nigerian populace. So, Level Waters is involved in a commercial production of essential minerals or essential water, which include sachet water, PET bottles, and dispenser water. So we are fully incorporated by you can mention the standard body, because it is expected that if you are writing a business plan, you make it very clear the level of registration that you have gotten for yourself. Some companies have a business name, some companies have limited liability, some companies are public limited liability. So, whatever stage or level of your business, you would give a description. The company is registered as a business name or as a limited liability company that is incorporated to produce uh, drinkable water in the form of sachet, bottle, or in dispenser, in dispense bottles. Then uh, you give a description of where the company or business is located, your address of your company. If you have a factory's office, you state it. If where you have your factory is where you also have your corporate office, you give all the details of your company locations. If you have more than one operating sites, if, for example, you are running a laundry outlet and you'll be operating more than one annex, you have one operating site where you do the basic washing operation. Some will now have one, two, three, four annex. So all of your location you are expected to give there. Then give a background of the product that you are going into, either the product or the service. Give a background of the product, why the product is essentially important to be available for consumption, the value of the product, how important is the product to the society. So these are the things or information you bring in to your executive summary. Then what makes your product different from possibly other existing products in the market? So those are additional information you bring in. So as I'm giving this example, you may have a sample business plan you want to prepare. So you could be making notes or even possibly preparing your business plan while we talk. So the whole idea is know what information you should provide at every particular segment or section of the business plan. I'm a very, very slow in typing. Otherwise, I would have preferred us um, writing or typing as we speak. For those who had the business plan sample before now, please can you indicate those who have the business plan sample? I know that one person do not have. Are there any one of us who worked on the sample that we were given? I would need a response. Did we work on the business plan samples we received? Okay. Um, After giving a background of the business, it is expected that we create what we call a vision statement, and a mission statement of the company. So you prepare a vision statement, a mission statement, your objective, and your goals. These are very critical parts of your introduction. After you must have given a background for the business. So we are running a water factory, and after giving a background, you state your vision statement. Well, a vision statement is a simple description of where the company would want or like to be in the long term. And when we say in the long term, we're talking about basically in at least 5 years, from inception. So the vision statement gives a description of where the company would like to be in a couple of years to come. So usually it could take the form of to be a leading, for example, to be a leading company in the production of safe drinking water in West Africa. This is a sample of a vision statement. It could be more detailed, it could be as simple as what you see here. Um, what is the essence or purpose of a vision statement? It gives both the company, the staffs of the company, the customers of the company, and the general public a picture of where the company is heading at. It gives the management, the staffs, the customers, and the general populace a picture, a written picture of where the company is aiming at. Then, um, if after your vision statement, you come down to have your mission statement. Your mission statement, as it is different from your vision statement, um, it describes what the business is actually into. While the vision statement gives a picture of what the company is hoping or aiming to be in the near future, in the far future, the mission statement gives a description of the business of the company. So a mission statement would generally look like this. Okay. I want to believe that we're all together. Please, please confirm if you can hear me. Okay. All right. Thank you for the response. So what I'm doing is just a sample. It depends on the kind of business, and you could be more detailed about your vision statement and your mission statement. If you go online, you will see um, samples of vision and mission statements of companies. If you go to if you walk into a bank, any commercial bank, you will see the vision and mission statement usually posted in a very visible area in the company. But it usually depends on the the nature and type of the business. So what you see here, the vision statement is as simple, usually one, two, three simple statements that gives a picture of what the business is all about. Take note, your vision helps create your mission statement. Your mission statement is a breakdown of your vision statement. Your mission statement is then broken down into goals and objectives. So your mission statement is a description of how you intend to achieve your vision statement. So we want to be the leading water production company in West Africa. How do we get there? We do that by producing safe and affordable water in sachet, bottle, or dispense. Okay, let me use PET. PET and dispense bottles. So you see that the mission statement gives you a window into seeing how you intend to achieve your vision statement. Then your goals and objectives are then more specific short-term statements that helps show how you intend to achieve the mission. The mission is to produce safe, affordable water in sachet, PET, and dispense bottles. Gives a summary of what the basic business of the company is all about. Then your goals are your goals and objectives are more specific, but then short term. Your goals and objectives are more specific, but short term statements of what you aim to achieve in order to progressively achieve your long term vision or mission. So, okay, if we are going to um, produce safe and affordable water, how do thank you. So how do we arrive at the point where we are able to produce safe, affordable drinking water? So you have to now break down your mission statement into more specific objectives or goals. So we can create our own objectives. We can create our own objectives. If you have, for example, existing competitors, because you have a very, if you look at our vision and mission statement, it's mind blowing. Uh, it seems almost impossible, but then it's achievable. What milestones? What milestones do we need to create and achieve within a short period of time that will enable us in the long run get or achieve our mission or our vision? That is what your objective is all about. So they are more specific. So if you are going to achieve uh, being a leading production company, you must start from somewhere. Let's give an example. Okay, in terms of uh, production output, in terms of production output, you can state an objective that is directed or aimed at your production output. Say, for example, one of our objectives is to produce produce 10,000 10,000 bottles of water daily to achieve zero contamination of all our water products. Okay, so to maintain the best quality of human resources, if you notice something about um, the objective I'm stating, if you notice something about the objectives I'm stating, I'm setting them in their simplest form. You could choose to be more expressive about the way you state your objectives. Then you notice that your objectives are specific. Your object All right. So what I'm saying is, one, you notice that I'm presenting them in its simplest form. Two, you notice that each of the objectives are specific. Your objectives must be measurable. You must state your objectives in a form that is measurable. So over time, usually when you want to do a review of your activities, you want to do assessment of your activities, maybe monthly. You want to see whether you are really in direction toward achieving your vision or your mission statement. It is your objectives that stands or serves as a benchmark for you to help you do a self-evaluation as to whether you are making progress toward your vision or not. So if you must state an objective that is measurable, that you can use to measure yourself over time, whether you are making progress or not, your objective must be specific. That's why if you see, even for the number of production, you have to state specifically what you expect your production to achieve. 10,000 bottles on a daily. So you have done your research and you have seen that if you are to compete favorably with the market or in the industry, you should be producing sufficiently enough to service the target market that you aim to pursue. So if after 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, you see that you are not able to um, meet up with 10,000 daily production, it becomes a basis for you to now go back to your drawing board and see what the problem is and how you could better improve. So one thing about objectives and goals is that they must be specific. They must be specific. They must be measurable. As much as possible, keep them simple. Simple, specific, measurable. And that is where they would be able to achieve the goal they are meant to achieve for you. So you could fill them up with other objectives. And your objectives could be towards if you notice, the quality of human resource or manpower you choose to use. It could be in the form of the quality or quantity of production of product you want to produce. It could also be in the number of customers or markets you choose to service. depending on the kind of business that you have. If, for example, you are into fashion, or you are into rendering of services, so you will state your objectives in terms of the kind of service or product you are into. But then take note, make sure that it creates a milestone you are expecting to achieve over a period of time in the business. So that is how basically your goals and objectives should look like. After that, you come down to your SWOT analysis. This is basically the most important part of your your business plan. Not really the most important, but one of the most important parts of your business plan. So here you uh, give an illustration or statement of your business strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Uh, I'm sure many of us are familiar with the whole idea of psychoanalysis. We have discussed it extensively before now. So we have a sample in the form of a table. We are assuming that our water factory, Level Water Nigeria Limited, it's located in it's located in where are the most of us here located? Benue, Abuja. I know some of us are in Benue. I also
Makodi. Benue
Makodi.
Makodi. Yes, Benue Makodi.
Okay, the most of us are in Benue, Makodi, right? Okay, so let's assume that our water factory, Level Waters, is located in. I've been to Benue once. What do they call it now? What do they call that place? Is it High Level? Oh, is it a place called High Level? There's one
Yes,
road,
high level.
High Level, right?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. My elder brother worked there for over 10 years before he left back to Abuja. So I've visited once or twice. So let's say our water factory is in Benue, located at High Level. Um, and we are not the first water, we are operating on assumptions. Now when you are as at now, we'll be operating on our assumptions. However, if you are preparing an actual business plan, you shouldn't work with assumptions. That's where research, field research, and theoretical research comes in. You need to get your facts right. There are some aspects of it that you have no choice. You have to work with assumptions. For example, when we get to the point of the financial projections, and you must have to work with assumptions when you're preparing your financials, because this Level Waters is a new business. It's assumed to be a new business coming into the market, a new business coming to an existing market. So we already have competitors there, but you don't know how much and how fast you can get your own market share. We're also assuming that the money for starting this business is coming via loans, maybe from a cooperative or from a microfinance bank or from a commercial bank. And they expect you to pay back the loan within 1 year, 2 years, or even 5 years. And for any commercial bank, microfinance bank to give you facility, you must have to give them a projection of what you will sell, you intend or you are proposing to sell over that period of time to gain back their money. So my point is, when preparing your SWOT analysis, where you need to make research, make your research and get your facts right. Where you cannot get for sure the facts, then we work with assumptions. So Level water is located in Benue, around high level, and we have already one or two existing waters in that same environs or axis. So with that picture in mind, let's create a table of our SWOT analysis. So you know what is obtainable with the existing water factories in high level. So it's not, some of us may say, see it as prognosing or apropos, or no, it's part of your market research. It is not bad to go and visit the existing water factories in high level and find out or make inquiries how they operate. It is not bad. It is part of your research. You want to know the kind of water they are producing. In fact, you can even go as far as taking samples of their product, competing products. Take their samples and do your own study of their product to identify their weaknesses. Because you must, as a business owner, take advantage of your strengths against their weaknesses, and also take advantage of their weaknesses in relation to your own strength. So if you must position yourself well in the market, you must know where you are better than them. So let's say that the competitors we have there, they are already into the production of water, but they don't produce dispense but they don't produce water in dispense bottles. So the already existing water factory, they they have only sachet and PET bottles. So for in this case now, you have your one of your strengths is that you are using cutting edge technology. That is, you have more advanced machines than your competitors. Second strength, you are using highly highly skilled highly skilled machine operators and staffs. So you have skilled staffs compared to your um, to your competitors. Another strength you may have is you may be strategically located to it could be strategically located to the market. It could be strategically located to the market or to raw materials. Whichever the case may be. Sometimes your advantage over your competitors may be that you have closer access to the market. When we say market, it can be population where you have the, the the most of the population located. Then it could also be that you are closely located to where you have the source of the raw material. Whichever the case, it is good that you identify where you are better than your competitors. So that is the whole idea of your strength. Identify where you are better than them. So it could be in your location. It could be in the quality of um, uh, manpower that you are using. It could be in the nature or type of machines or technology you are employing to your production. It could also be in the form of um, research. It could be in the form of um, your okay. Let's take five in each case. So we have number four. Our strength, we have cutting edge technology in our water factory. We have highly skilled machine operators and staffs. We have um, um, vast, okay, a wide variety, wide range of product lines. When I say wide range of product lines, I mean, like I said, the other company has or are into production of sachet and pet bottles, but you decide to go for both the sachet, the pet bottle, the dispense bottle, and if there are other products or range of products that your competitors don't have that you have, it is good that you state it so that you know that yes, this is where you are better than your competitors. Then your strength could also come from. Let me get help now. Let me get help from you guys. What other strength can you propose? Let me pick on your brain so that let's work it together. So we have four. Okay, we'll come back to this. For the weakness, okay, so we'll have one. So okay, given the fact that we are working with a newly established water factory, uh, we'll have to change this. As of now, we have minimal market share. Our market share is minimal for now. Let's not use zero. We have minimal market share. We have not Our product have not entered the market, so we we don't yet have a percentage ownership of the market share. So which is a weakness for the now. The existing companies have a measure of control over uh, a measure of market portion for themselves that they are already servicing. But for now, we have none. So which is as at the moment is a weakness. Then we can also state that another weakness we have is difficulty difficulty in getting access difficulty in getting access to difficulty in getting access to um, manual labor. While we have skilled machine operators and staffs, given the nature of the environment, in some cases, take note, all of these are just assumed. We are speaking in assumption. Um, Given the nature or the location of the business, some locations have difficulty in getting people who are willing to work to do manual labor. And when we say manual labor, or okay, um, unskilled, you could use manual labor or unskilled staff. Difficulty in getting access to manual labor or unskilled staff. So when we say unskilled staff, we are talking about those who load and offload your trucks of water. You could those who your drivers, your VSROs, like we call them, your van sales reps, your factory manual laborers. We are saying it's a weakness because based on your location, you have difficulty in getting access to such manual labors. Then you could also say a weakness for the company comes in the form of one thing you should also note is whatever your competitors have as an advantage over you automatically becomes your own weakness. Whatever you have as an advantage over your competitors automatically becomes your strength. So if you look into your competitors' nature of operations and you see that, okay, there are certain things they do that you don't yet or do is not part of your plan to put it or bring it on board into operation, that automatically becomes your weakness. So those are things you look at and you enlist your weaknesses. Then you come down to your opportunities. You come down to your opportunities. Okay, in this case, you could say large untapped or unserved market. Nearness nearness to large a large unserved untapped or unserved market. Possibly the existing water factories are located in a place where the supply of water is highly saturated. However, those competitors don't have um, machineries or facilities to take their product to areas where they have lower or lesser supply of water. But then, given your setup, you have opportunities to take your product into those large untapped or unserved markets. So that becomes an opportunity for you. Nearness to a large unserved or untapped market. Then you could also state the presence of institutions or features in the environment that present an opportunity to sell, opportunity for you to sell even more than your competitors. When we say you could also take it along the line of nearness to large unserved market. I was coming up with nearness um, to several educational institutions. Nearness to several educational institutions that present an opportunity for you to sell. It's an opportunity uh, for you. If you are close to a market that is not yet tapped, it's an opportunity. If you are close to uh, institutions, establishments that presents you an opportunity to sell your product more than your competitors, it's also an opportunity. So these are the things you look at. Opportunities that are around you that gives you an advantage over uh, your competitors. Your competitors. So it could be in the form of your location. It could be in the form of your operations. It could be in the form of your operations. Then your threats. Okay. Um, there's what we call for your strength. There's what you call uh, economics of large scale production. I don't know if we know what this means. Economics of large scale production. Um, it could come in as a strength. Sorry, the more I talk, the more the ideas flows. So part of your strength could be the fact that you are setting up or starting up with uh, cutting edge production, which enables you to produce in large quantity compared to your competitors. So since you have advanced machines, you produce in more quantity, especially for the fact that remember we have an objective of producing 10,000 uh, bottled waters daily, and we are able to achieve this because we have advanced technology, and because we have advanced technology that makes us produce in large quantity. It means that we would also benefit or enjoy the economics or advantage of large scale production. One thing about production is the higher the number of your output, the lower the cost of your unit of your production. And that's what we call economics of large scale production. If you are producing in larger quantity, at the end of the day, your unit cost of production becomes smaller. But if you are producing in smaller quantity, usually what happens is your unit cost of production will be higher. So those who produce in large quantity, they enjoy what we call economics of large scale production. If you are going to buy 1 unit of pet bottle, their price will not be the same when you want to buy 1,000 or 10,000 units of pet bottles from manufacturers. So since you are buying in large quantity and producing in large quantity, at the end of the day, your unit cost of production becomes smaller, which is your strength, which is also a strength you have over your competitors. So you could also have your strength based on the fact that you have production in large quantity. That means that you can have the advantage of beating down your price lower than what is obtainable in the market, and you will still make your profit. You will still break even. So if other people are having 1,000 as their cost of production, for example, because you are producing in large quantity, you will be having 700-800 naira as cost of production. So when they will be selling at 1,1 or 1,2 to make a profit of 100 naira or 200, you can take advantage of that economics of large scale production that you have to sell at 900, and you will still make the same 200 naira profit that they are making. And everybody, in fact, that gives an opportunity to get a large chunk of the market share. Everybody now moves from buying from them, your competitors, at 1,100 or 1,200 to buying from you who is selling at 900. So your competitors will now be worried, concerned, how come you are selling at 900 when they are selling at 1,100? The advantage is that, or the difference is that your cost of production is lower because you are producing in large quantity. So you are buying your raw materials cheaper. The unit cost of your finished product becomes lesser. So that gives you an advantage to sell at a lesser price. So you can even your price can be your strength. Unit price of your unit price of products. Unit price of products can become your strength. Okay. So for the threat, you you have in this case now we have competitors. We have competitors, but okay, let's leave it at large competitors. Let's assume that we have large competitors who have the capacity to reduce their prices. Remember, we also said that the threat can come from both internal or external. The threat can be those we can control and those we cannot control. If you remember our last discussion around SWOT analysis. So based on the information, you look at government unstable policies, government unstable policies, um, fear fear of okay, let's use possibility of water contamination, possibility of water contamination. Um, I hope we are together. Please, can I get a response to be sure that we are all together?
Yes, sir, we are together.
Okay, so these are just a sample statement of opportunities and threats that um, you could expand more on this, but take note, we have discussed this extensively before. You could fall back to our materials and tailor it to your specific choice of business. And take note, like I said, and I'm saying it again, for you to have a robust section of your SWOT analysis, you must do thorough research. You must do thorough research. You must do field work. You must do market survey. You must do proper market survey, market research to come up with appropriate strengths. You must know your competitors, know their prices, know their mode of operations, know their customer base, understand how much or percentage of the market share your competitors have, know who are their target markets. So those are informations you get. Then you also know where you also have your own strengths. Because of time, let's leave it at that. We now move to market analysis. When we say market analysis, like we said, your market research, competitors analysis, you must here present or show that you understand your market, you understand your product and your services, and you can justify that your product, if presented to the market, will be able to achieve whatever sales projections you have for the product. If you do proper market research or analysis, you can confidently do your sales projections and you can justify why that projection can be feasible when the product enters into the market. So if you know your product and you know your market, you can then base on that project. So so part of what you find in your market analysis is to one, analyze the market. Analyze the market. Every market have segments. Every market have segment. Take the one we say market. We're not talking about Otupo market or Boko market. No, we're talking about people. When we say market, we're talking about people, and every market is segmented. Every market is segmented. So while you are doing your business plan, you in your market analysis, you state the segment of the market that is of interest to your business. the segment of the market that is of interest to your business. So if you are conversant with the market very well, you, if possible, where this is where research comes in. It is important that you go and get, if possible, the population size of the people in Benue. The population size. So you can go online, research the population of people in that locality where you are establishing the business. Let's say the total number of people in Benue is 3 million. In that 3 million, your research would also include trying to find out the different segments, population segments in that 3 million. How many males are there? How many females are there? How many youths are there? How many babies are there? How many students are there? When you divide the population into segments, you cannot identify the portion of the population that your product or service is prepared to serve, because that segment of the population forms your market, your target market. So at the end of the day, if the total population of Benue is 3 million, you should be able to identify and state that your target market in Benue of a population of 3 million is, you have a target market of 2 million people, which is made up of male, female, youth, children who are interested and will benefit from the consumption of your product, either sachet water, PET, or dispense bottles. So that gives you a picture of the market that you are targeting. Then your analysis, your market analysis or market research will now have to involve, okay, in this population of 2 million people that will be interested in drinking either the sachet, the bottle, or the PET, the dispense, which of the product lines is more trendy in that environment? Some areas, they drink more of sachet water. In some other areas, they drink more of bottled water. The population of people drinking bottled water in Abuja, for example, may be more than the population of people who are drinking bottled water in Benue. So you segment it. In that 2 million, we have a population, a percentage, a population of 1 to 500,000, 1.5 million people who drink bottled water on a daily basis. If the location of the business is one that the people there, they drink more of sachet water, you know that, okay, the population of this target market, they drink more of what is trendy. What is trendy in that environment is sachet water. What is trendy in this environment is stable water. Those are the things that will help you to know the marketing sales strategy you will use at the end of the day when your product is now out for sales. So if you do proper market analysis, it will help you in deciding on the best sales strategy you will use in selling your product. It would help you know the product lines you will take to the different segments or location of the target market. So these are details you bring out in your market analysis. So you look at the market trends. Then in the market trend, from there you look at the portion of the population that is of interest to the company or the business, which will now form your target market. Then you also look at the population or the portion of the market that is already being served by your competitors. The population of the market that is already being served by your competitors. So those are those are information or details you research and fill up in your market analysis. Then, like you said, when your market analysis is properly done, it will now help you to draft out your marketing and sales plan. Your marketing and sales plan. After you have succeeded in understanding and giving a perfect description of your market, your target market, you know who you are after, you know your population, you know the structure of the market. You can then decide now to come up with very effective or efficient, appropriate marketing and sales plans that will help you achieve your objectives. Remember, so you see that everything you are doing, it's when you're preparing a business plan, it flows down. It's a flow. Your business plan should flow. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word. Your business plan should flow. If somebody is reading your business plan, he could easily create a picture from your vision, the picture of what you want to make, the mission of the company, how the mission influences the structure of the company, the product lines that you have, the target market that you are pursuing, the stated objectives and goals of the company. In fact, when you are drafting out your marketing plans, it can be seen clearly how the marketing plans is aimed at helping you achieve your stated goals and objectives. So when you are preparing a business plan, or if we are reviewing a business plan, it is important that there exists that flow. Somebody can easily relate from your vision to your introduction, to your mission, to your objectives, to your operational setup, to your market strategies. As the person is reading your business plan, he gets the flow. The information flows smoothly. There is correlation between every segment of the business plan. So when you have done your proper market analysis, you would have seen that based on this market you have studied, you can achieve that stated 10,000 daily production and sales targets you have made for yourself. If it is not possible to achieve your 10,000 daily production and sales, your market analysis will reveal it. That given the market analysis you have done, it may be difficult or impossible to achieve a 10,000 production and sales of our water product. So to have a realistic, take note, your objectives must be specific, must be realistic, must be measurable. There's this acronym we use, SMART. Your objectives must be far gone in our time, but we have also been able to touch a lot of the business plan. So, like we said, when you do a proper marketing analysis, you help to um, establish or create your strategies. So, in the case of a water factory, for example, what sales strategies would you want to recommend? Well, different products may require some the different strategies you will use. The strategies you use in selling your sachet product is different from the strategy you use for selling your your pet bottles or your dispense bottles. So you would have to um, look at the your position, your product position in relation to competitors. You look at the feature of your product. You look at the price of your product, the unit price of your product. You look at the competitors' price. You look at the unique feature of the target market. Then you now determine the best approach you are going to use to establish uh, good relationship with your target market. There's something that is very important to note. In management, we call it relationship marketing. Relationship marketing. So the marketing that is built on relationship, and it is the strongest form of marketing. When you are able to establish relationship with your target market, you secure what we call brand loyalty, and you are able to secure what we call rebuying or repurchase. If you must guarantee continuity of your business, you must be able to establish repurchase, brand loyalty. And to achieve that, the best way is through relationship marketing. So when you choose a particular strategy you want to use, it is always best that you coin your strategy that is hinged on establishing relationships. Relationships. So when it comes to promotion, you can choose different advertising method, whether to go on television, radio, whether to do door-to-door advert, whether to do corporate. We have modern marketing, superstores, supermarkets, and all of that. So there are many factors you put into consideration when coming up with your marketing or sales plan. But something I will tell you for free, a secret I'll tell you for free, the best marketing and sales plan is the one that is based on relationship marketing. Relationship, relationship marketing. Do not, it is very important that you are not just concerned about selling your product. You should not be concerned alone about selling your product. You must also be concerned about building and establishing relationship with the target market. Some persons today, if it is not Coca-Cola, they will not drink. Some persons today, they have established loyalty for a particular brand, not because if they take another brand they will die, or maybe because they have established a strong relationship with the seller or supplier of that brand, or they have taken the brand over time, and because of the way the brand has served them, satisfied their needs, treated them well, they have now stuck with the product or that brand. So at the end of the day, you can guarantee your repeat purchase from your customers, and that makes your marketers or your salespersons do less jobs. They just sit back and the orders and reorders and orders and reorders of a product keep coming because they have established a good relationship with your customer. So those are the things you put into considerations. Then your sales plan for your product. If you are distributing, if you are going to produce in large scale, your sales plan will also include the channel of distribution. Channel of distribution. Okay, since you are producing 10,000 um, uh, bottles per day, how would you intend to sell the 10,000? So, are you going to do direct sales? Some producers will say, okay, I'll do direct sales. They will have their own sales structure, sales mechanism. So, level waters will say, I don't need distributors, I don't need retailers. What they do is after production, they have their own sales outlet managed by the company. That is direct sales. So people can come to the factory and buy. They produce from the factory, they take to their different sales outlets in different parts of the city. Or alternatively, you could choose to save yourself the stress of going through the rigorous activities of sales and engage the services of uh, uh, distributors. So you have distributors who will buy in large quantity. The distributors will now sell to wholesalers. Wholesalers will sell to retailers. Retailers will sell to the final consumers. You could choose to use agents who will have their own separate business established. They will have license. They'll be the only one to have license. They will buy your product and they will sell. But then you establish the minimum quantity that they must buy on a daily basis to maintain that status. You could choose to sell online. The social media is now a global village where people can sell across borders. You could choose to sell your product online and and reach out to your target market online. So whichever strategies or sales plan you choose to do that you are sure will work for the target market, because at this point you already know the people you want to serve with your product. So it is for you to decide which of these avenues is best. These plans or strategies are like vehicles that will take your product to the destination or the hands of the consumers, the target market. So some persons, like you said, some persons prefer to go to their destination via train, flight, uh, taxi, bus, whichever is best for them given the location. So given the target market, you decide which is the best. If you make a mistake to choose a wrong distribution channel, you may then slow down unknowingly the sales of your product, thereby not making you achieve the targets. So apart from the market analysis and your marketing plan and sales plan, another important segment, very key, is your management and staff. Your management section here, you will give an overview of the business structure in terms of the human resource structure of the company. There are different structure a company can take when it comes to manpower. Depending on the size of the company or the business, usually you have your management staff, which is made up of the MD, CEO, the secretary, and all functional managers. All functional managers. So we are operating a massive water production factory. So the structure can take different forms. From the MD, you have your secretary. From there, you have functional managers. You have your operation manager who is in charge of managing the operations and production of your water. You have your marketing manager who is in charge of managing the sale of all your products and the staffs. You have your human resource manager that manages all the staffs and the welfare, ensuring that all the staffs are producing or performing at optimal levels. You have your finance manager who is in charge of all the money that comes in and goes out of the company. So the MD, CEO, the secretary, and all these functional managers make up the management staff. So each of the functional areas may choose to have supervisors or any other lower level staffs. Then you have your operational staffs and you have your unskilled staff. So you could choose to structure your business whichever way that will fit it. So all of this is what is captured in your management section. The kind of staff that you're going to have, the level of skilled staff, unskilled staffs, you identify them. Then your plans for the staffs, how you intend to onboard the staffs, both skilled and unskilled, when they are onboarded, how you intend to train them, how you intend to, the benefits that you are going to offer to them. And so all those are what you capture in your management section. So it is important that at this point you define how the company is going to look like in terms of its manpower. Then the operations, like I said, some of these sections you can collapse them together. You can collapse the section. This operations section can be collapsed into your management section. It can be collapsed into, you can leave it standing alone depending on the complexity of the business you are going to make. If your business setup is a simple one, you can choose to maintain these different segments. But if your business setup is a complex one, is a complex business setup, you may choose to collapse these sections together and then make them uh, so that your work will be simpler. But if you choose not to, um, under the operation segment, you give a description of your premises, your equipment that you are using, the business, the production process you are choosing to use, and the quality specification of the machines you are using, the quality specification of the processing that your water goes through in the course of production, and why the stakeholders of interest should have confidence in the product, or those who wants to finance the operations can be confident that the market would accept it. So all of these are the details you put in your um, operation segment. Then this usually is comes last, your financial projection and key assumptions. Your The financials. Here you give an overview of how you intend to source money for the establishment of the business, then how you intend to regenerate the money invested from the sales of the company product. So, how the money is generated, how the money will be used, and how the money will be regenerated. Because the purpose of every business is to make profit. Nobody starts except for a non-governmental organization, or what do you call them now, charity organization, religious or charity organization. But for a commercial business, it is established to make profit. So the financial section simply outlines and describes how the business intends to generate the funds it needs for the business. You give a breakdown. You give a breakdown of um, um, you give a breakdown of you give a breakdown of how you intend to maximize the resources, the funds that are available to you. Your startup cost, for example, you can create a list of your startup costs, the things you intend to buy, the registration of the company, the machines you are going to use, the staffing, the labor. You calculate your There are some financials, your profit and loss account, your income statement, your balance sheet, your projections, your sales projections. At this point in time, like we said, you will work with assumptions because the company is a new one. So you can never really tell exactly the amount or level of sales or income that will be generated when the product gets to the market. So whatever you're going to present here are most likely going to be assumptions. Assumptions. But your assumptions should not be too far from given. If you have done proper research, you can be able to give assumptions that will end up not be too far from what would be actually achieved. So we can at a personal a more specific request get more details on how this is done uh, after now. So like I said before, it takes a lot of time, energy, resources to come up with a business plan. So most of the information you get in a business plan are not information that you can generate offhand. You can never generate all the information in a business plan offhand in a sitting. So given the kind of um, business you want to do, you need a lot of research, you need a lot of field work, market survey to come up with facts. So whatever we have done here today, we have just taken us through the a typical business structure that the business plan takes and the kind of nature of information that should exist within the business plans so that at the end of the day your business plan will not only serve as a source of you getting funding, but it can also guide you through the course of your operations the in years to come. You can always fall back to your business plan and see if you are on course. So the business plan is like a blueprint that gives you a direction to where you are going with your business. So I've taken a lot of the time, and I believe that there are still a lot that needs to be said and can be done together in preparing a business plan. So from what we have said thus far, I hope that I've been able to create a basis or a foundation upon which you can work on your own business plan. And if you have further questions on the subject matter, you can always consult us further after now, and we will be very willing and happy to give you additional guide. So once again, it's good to uh, have this section with us. I hope I've been able to better improve your knowledge and understanding of what the business plan is and how to go about creating one for yourself. If you have questions at this point or you want clarification further on any part of the business plan, I would be happy to welcome questions, please.
All right, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much for thanks for having you here, sir. Thanks for the lecture and everything, sir. Hello. Yeah,
Yeah,
are you hearing me, sir? Yeah.
yes,
I
very
just
well.
have
Go ahead.
three questions. Yes, I have three questions. Firstly, uh, must you're talking about SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis must it be on the tabular form? Must it be on the
No,
tabular form?
no.
Okay.
It
Secondly,
mustn't be on the table account.
okay. Secondly, about the SWOT analysis. Can one list so many strengths and weaknesses that he or she is facing when starting up a business, or there is a limited weaknesses and strengths that could be listed in the SWOT analysis?
Come again with the question.
My second question is, can one list so many strengths? Like, can you mention like list so many strengths? Like, maybe let's assume that you have so many strengths and weaknesses that you are facing in that
Yes.
particular. business that you want to start. Now my question is, can you list so many strengths and weaknesses, or there's a limited number of strengths and weaknesses that can be listed or mentioned in the SWOT analysis?
Okay, there's no limit.
Okay,
There's
you
no
can
limit.
list as much.
Yes, and let me tell you why it is important to list as many as possible. The more you are able to capture the entirety of your strengths and your weaknesses, the more you stand a better chance of getting what we call a competitive advantage, exploring a competitive advantage over your competitors, because it's all about survival.
Okay,
Every person who wants to start a business does not want to start a business that will die tomorrow. So
exactly.
everybody wants to start a business that will survive. So the higher you are, the more you are able to establish this, your strengths and weaknesses, the higher the chances you are giving your business to survive.
Okay,
So
all right.
you know all the possible threats, and if you omit one, if you let go, or you have oversight of one, that unknown strength that you have not identified, or the unknown weaknesses or opportunities or threats, may just be your silent killer at the end of the day. So
Okay,
if it is 10, if it is 20 that are your strengths, identify them and explore every one of them against your competitors.
all right, sir. All right,
Yeah, so there's no
thirdly,
limit.
the third question I have is, can you make assumption at some point when listing your SWOT analysis? Can you make assumption at some point?
Okay, at the only at the point where you have little or no access to the actual facts. For example, when it comes to uh, your competitors' strengths and weaknesses, like I said, your competitor's strength is your weakness, and
Yes.
your competitor's weakness is your strength. But sometimes you may not be able to have access to the entirety of your competitor's strengths and weaknesses. So at certain level, at very minimal certain level, you may work with little assumptions at this point. But if it is possible to go out and get the facts, do it. But if you
Okay.
cannot, after all possible effort, you may then work with assumptions, which is not ideal. But if you cannot, you can work with safe assumptions, and based on the assumptions, you you strategize, because you can also come up with your sales marketing strategy from your SWOT analysis.
Okay, sir. Thank
So
you very much.
there is little room for assumption at this point.
Okay. Uh,
Yes,
uh, Thank you very much.
thank you, sir. But when we are talking about your financial projections, you will do a lot of assumptions. A lot of assumptions.
Okay. Thank you. So
Okay.
please,
Any further questions?
we'll be very happy if you can save what you have been doing, like the one you're using to teach us. We will be glad if you can save it and send it to our platform, so it can guide us on maybe the assessment, and maybe when
Okay,
we
I can do
have a
that.
business that we are doing all of that.
The
Okay.
finished
Thank
work
you.
I did, the finished work I have done, I would just edit it. I've done a lot of business plans, and I would look for one of them and finish up with this sample and share with you guys. But before I would do that, I would also, like the facilitators have made me understand, we expect that you guys will also make some effort to work on your own. So
Okay.
while I'm working on my own to complete it, I will expect that everyone will try and put an effort to work on his or her own, so that at the end of the day, you can always use what I've done to check what you've done and see what plus or minus you can do.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that.
All right, Mr. Solomon. This is how far I can go. My system is down in battery and my phone is going down soon. I hope I've been able to add little value to your storehouse of knowledge when it comes to business plan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eric. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I saw when your screen was saying battery low.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just continue with your phone, right?
Yes, I continue to my phone.
Yeah. So I actually wanted this session to happen so that they can understand the flow of how the business plan comes about. And then the recording is available for some of us who were unable to stay to the end. I'm going to edit the part where nothing happened, and I'll publish tomorrow next, so that then the assessment can start coming in from next week. Like I told them, the assessment is going to be a practical session. They can choose any business of their own and then develop it. So when they submit, we can now have a template to use and review all of them.
I review them. That's fine.
Yes, give them feedback. They will see it on their dashboard on the portal. Areas where they did well, areas where they didn't do well, where they need to make improvements. Yes, because the goal is that at the end of the day, they all have knowledge of putting up a business plan.
Exactly.
So that's the goal. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Eric. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Have a great night.
You too.